The member for Higgins.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Health and Aged Care. Will the Minister please update the House on the progress of Australia's COVID-19 vaccine rollout?
The Minister for Health and Aged Care.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker, and I want to thank the member for Higgins for her work and her support as a health leader across this nation. Around the world, we know that the pandemic continues. It was said, perhaps at the dispatch box just opposite, that the pandemic is coming to an end. It's not. We are at 240 million cases around the world. We're at 4.9 million lives lost. The number of cases this year is almost double the number last year. At the same time, however, what is changing is how we live with the virus. And one of the fundamental things is, whilst we relied last year on our borders and testing, tracing and distancing, the vaccination program is allowing us to change that in Australia. Already we're at 32.6 million doses. Already we see that in the last week alone, in the last 7 days, over 1.9 million vaccinations were delivered in Australia. In the last 14 days, over 3.8 million vaccinations, and in the last 28 days, over 7.8 million vaccinations. These are Australians coming forward to protect themselves, their friends, their families, or just to do the right thing by the community. And these Australians are leading to extraordinary outcomes. What we see is 93% of our over 50s who've come forward for a first dose. We see that it's now at an extraordinary 97% of our over 70s, our most vulnerable demographic. And then, extraordinarily, 99.8% of our aged care workers have come forward for vaccinations. And that is a testament to all involved, and we thank them and we honour them. And all of this is about saving lives and protecting lives. And yes, there has been hardship here, as there has been in all nations of the world. But what we know is that the actions we've taken over the last 2 years and have now seen through the vaccination program has meant that Australia has one of the 3 lowest rates of lives lost across the OECD, the 38 nations this year, and across the entire pandemic. That means we have saved over 30,000 lives compared with the OECD average, 45,000 lives if we were to compare with the United Kingdom or the United States. And each one of those is a life to be celebrated, is a family that will be whole. Each one of those comes from the actions of Australians over the last 2 years, but in particular, all of those Australians who have come forward, and as the Prime Minister said, we'll pass the 85% first dose and the 70% second dose mark in the coming days.
The member for Richmond.
My question